Hey there fellow gamers and cocktail enthusiasts, Ben here, and welcome to another Castles and Cocktails recipe video. So I've recently finished my playthrough of Metroid Dread on the Switch. Really interesting game, very hyped in general. I was looking forward to it a lot, but the game itself, I'm one of the, unfortunately in the minority, that found this game way too damn hard. Honestly, it really needs a difficulty buff or something. Enemies should not take away a third of your health when they hit you. Boss enemies, anyway. But it was really a nice, interesting sort of love letter to the Metroid franchise, and visually looked fantastic. So I thought a lot about what I wanted to do for the cocktail for this game. After playing through it, I was like, do I want to make a drink that looks really good, but just burns all the way down and it's really hard on you? I'm like, that would be a fun thing to do, but I think I would actually much rather just make a drink that's delicious and represents something from the game, as I always have done. So this is a drink that I came up with called the X-Parasite. Ingredients for this drink: you're going to need some green Chartreuse, some Gold Rum. I'm actually using some of this Plantation Gold 5-year. I really like this stuff. It's a little more top shelf, and I have it left over from Christmas, but I highly recommend it. You're going to need some ginger-infused simple syrup. You can find the recipe for this on my blog, mediumofmixology.com. And you're going to need some freshly ground, it doesn't have to be freshly ground, but some coarse kosher salt. Because, you know, what would a game like this be without a little bit of salty gamer tears? For your equipment, you're going to need a short cocktail glass, something like this. I actually got one of these chilling out in the freezer. It's been there for a couple hours. I want to make sure it's nice and cold. Oh, also in ingredients, you're going to need a lime, some sort of a measuring device, jigger, measuring cup, what have you, knife for your lime, hard surface to cut that on, and shaker and strainer as always with ice. So to start things out, you want 1/3 ounce, or roughly 10 milliliters, of your green Chartreuse. Chartreuse is a really interesting botanical herbal liqueur made in France. Adds an interesting sort of somewhat licoricey flavor, but not overpowering the way something like a absinthe would be. You want 1/4 ounce, or roughly between 7 and 8 mils of your ginger simple syrup. You can also probably just use a bar spoonful of it, maybe a little less. You want 2 ounces, or 60 mils of your Gold Rum. Again, highly recommend the Plantation for this, something with a little more complexity than your standard, bottom shelf stuff. Now for the lime, rather than juicing the half of it, we're going to just cut it in half, and then 1/4, and then cut one of those quarters in 1/4. Now one of those quarters we will squeeze into the drink and drop it. The other half, we'll need this for our garnish. You want a thin slice, and that slice will slice in half. So you have 2 equal wheels like that. Finally, you want to get a good healthy pinch of your coarse kosher salt. Alternatively, you can probably use a saline solution if you really want to be funny about your gamer tears. Go ahead and drop that on and give it a shake. And don't be afraid to really shake this one. You want to get this fairly heavily diluted and very, very cold. Now finished with that shake, we got our glass out, very heavily frosted as you can see. Strain that into your prepared glass. And you'll take the 2 thin wheels and make an X pattern with the top of the drink. And there you have the X-Parasite. Here we go, X-Parasite. Let's go ahead and give it a taste. A lot of the Chartreuse on the nose. Oh, wow, I think I put too much salt in that. What's interesting is Chartreuse normally is really overpowering, especially when you put even a little bit of it into something like a martini to change the flavor. Between the bit of citrus, the rum, and the ginger, as well as a little too much salt, everything really kind of balances out. I tested this out the other day. I didn't put this much salt in it. But it's actually really quite refreshing. You get a bit more of the rum and the ginger, sort of mid to late palate. The chartreuse is probably a little bit more forefront. And man, you taste that salt. Don't use as much salt as I did. Just do a pinch. You don't need the healthy pinch. But yeah, it's actually quite good. So that is the X-Parasite, my cocktail creation for Metroid Dread. If you're interested in making this for yourself, the recipe is down below in the description box, as well as the link to where you can make the simple syrup yourself. So yeah, that's the X-Parasite. Thanks guys for checking this out. If you enjoyed this or made this for yourself, let me know your thoughts and comments below. For the time being, keep on gaming, drink responsibly, and I'll see you guys next time. God, that's really salty. Holy shit.